SGL, welcome back for this week's first matchup in the Premier League. And we got ourselves a Texas derby match between El Matador Dallas Spurn of FC Dallas against LaCinco12 of Austin FC. This is the only Mazar, and I will be covering this match tonight, but not by myself. I do have a co-commentator with me, so chat, let's welcome on in Debit. Debit, how much are you looking forward to this match tonight?
Eddie Long arrive. I am in the booth. You don't hear me too often. What is up, everybody? As far as this matchup goes, this is honestly one of my favorite matchups to look at because it just reminds me of shit poster versus shit poster. The Dallas team that is not EM proper versus what I like to call David's team. And they are just probably going to be yelling back and forth at each other after this matchup, even though they've been doing it beforehand. So I just love to see the back and forth between them. As far as competitiveness, honestly, EM Dallas Spur make it a treat every time because they don't get swept.
Hell yeah, and that's why I enjoy watching EM Dallas Spurn matches, because no matter what, they'll make themselves competitive. And you know what? Even if LaCinco12 bring out their strongest trio on paper, I can still see EM Dallas Spurn pushing them to their limits.
Yep, I'm actually in a big agreement there. We saw this LaCinco12 team, bring in a new player, a very high level player, and on paper it looks like they could be like the best team in the league, but they were just shut out last performance against FSD Chrome. So one must gotta wonder, is that just the first matchup, potential jitters to get out of the way? They work to form up, get the chemistry going in SGL. I think this is a good test for them.
Yeah, big time. And you know what? I think they needed to understand what it feels like to play in SGL. They being the new player, Kessar, of course, because whilst he may be really good on paper, SGL is a whole different animal altogether. In this league, you need to have good team chemistry to be able to go far. You need to have teammates who will cover your weaknesses and enhance your strengths. And you need to work as a team in all phases of play to be able to overcome the opposition. And that is something LaCinco12 need to build up very quickly so that they can keep themselves up with the top two.
Yes, indeed. They're going to need to, keep the positive results coming. Last week, just think of it as a fluke. But as you mentioned, these teams, they got to build the chemistry because there's only one way you get, these top five players that we start seeing out on the field. I don't know if we could take a little gander into some of the lineups, some of the players on both these teams. We could start out with LaCinco12 in Austin. You seeing Devin be in the front as far as games played. Palace shortly thereafter. Palace clearly the sharpshooter, covering everything. He makes the most out of his shots. They're honestly sharing the defense quite well. And Runsell, what an addition this player has been to this LaCinco12 side. Been critical to help out, get them up to this third place, I believe, in the league table so far. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Runsell been an awesome force for LaCinco12, and with Kessar now coming in, it's now just an opportunity to see if that three-person lineup that is so dependable now becomes a four-person dependable lineup.
Yeah, and this is why they need Kessar to get up to pace as soon as possible, because if he gets up to speed, then this team will be incredibly scary. But, first season, still trying to get used to his teammates as well as how the opposition play. It will take him a bit of time to settle in. And you know what? I noticed another dude who had those kind of first season jitters. I see Vex in chat. Vex, it's been a while since we've seen you here. Hopefully you're doing well. He says, let's go Matador. Absolutely. We have someone cheering for EM Dallas Spurn as well. But Vex, maybe you can attest to your performances in your first season in SGL and how much effort it took for you to get into and settle in, because it's not that easy to get into SGL. not everyone makes that instant first impression.
Especially with a lineup that you're not as familiar with. That could be a little jarring at first. Maybe you got the talent to cover all your bases, but being in line with your teammates, it's one of the hardest things. Something that you got to do week in and week out. Be ready to pass, be ready to be a recipient of any given 50 or downfield approach. You got to be ready for it all whenever it comes to SGL.
Indeed, and speaking of getting ready for everything, I feel like this EM Dallas Burn lineup is a little bit of everything. I mean, they have one of the biggest squads in SGL. Everyone in their squad has gotten some playing time, including one Huey, who has transferred over to El Matador.
Yeah, we do have the stats for, the trader, the one who was left for El Matador proper in Huey. So, just take him out of the equation if you're looking at this right now. You're probably going to be looking to your top three already shown here in Caesar, Wicca, and Anom. But also don't discount the fact that we have, three other players on this EM Dallas Burn team. Pico David has been appearing way more recently. Kind of in that a little bit of an emergency role. But he has actually been picking up a few stats here and there. So one must wonder if maybe he'll make an appearance tonight. Maybe add a little fire to this Dallas versus Austin rivalry that we got.
Yeah, and honestly, given how these kind of matchups go, I would not be surprised if these EM Dallas Burn players are up for it. I mean, Caesar's always up for it. He has been one of the most consistent performers in SGL. Probably a potential MVP candidate as well. But he's not been alone in coming up with good performances throughout. I mean, Wicca's been another guy who's come up and shown his consistency, even if he hasn't looked so flashy. You also have Anomaly coming into his first season, playing so well against so many of the better players, despite not being at the same level as them. And someone like him goes to show you that even if you're not, a champ or a grand champ, you could still be a threat against those kind of players. And last but not least, I mean, we got to talk about Pico David, because this dude has been popping up with surprise after surprise, insane saves, big goals. Pico David's been turning up.
Absolutely. I mean, that dude might have had the biggest glow up in one matchup I've ever seen, going from 8 points in one game to, I don't know, like he was scoring a goal, he got a couple saves in one of them. All of a sudden he boosts up to at least 200, 300 points. It may take a little bit to get into a matchup, but whenever you have Pico David around, maybe he can sneak in by you. You never expect the best of circumstances happening for you, but whenever you're on the receiving end, you never know if he's hiding and lurking around. You got to watch out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I want to highlight Overtime Saint as well. He's also been a big surprise when he played his one match against Emerald City RC this season. He was scoring goals against him, and I remember watching that and dropping my jaw to the floor, because I'm like, how is this guy able to do all of this? Last season he was struggling to play at that level, even in the championship, and now he's in the Premier looking comfortable against, champ level players. And it's like, what the heck? So this team is full of surprises that, LaCinco12 are going to have a test in there, sorry, I'm not able to speak tonight. I apologize, chat. I'm not on caffeine right now. So what I was trying to say was LaCinco12 will have a proper test to deal with tonight against this kind of EM Dalsburg team.
Yeah, we've seen these kind of strategies employed by teams in the past where they have the rosters ready to go. You may not know what three you're going to go against. Jeez, now I can't even speak. But I expected that out of me tonight. But yeah, whenever it comes to confusion, you never know. Sometimes you're in a bit of a panic. Next thing you know, you're trying to just get the ball downfield, maybe make a challenge, jump for something so that another player can't get it. And after that, you soon realize that you have hit it to basically the other team and nobody was challenging you just because you thought they were going to be a little quicker. That's something that EMDB can capitalize on. I think, honestly, with this LaCinco12 side, they could be a little jumpy out the gate. So if you want to strike and then get the game's win that you have to win in order to keep climbing up the standings, you got to get them early in this case.
Yeah, strike early and then force them to come out and hit him on the counter. This LaCinco12 side tends to be very open at the back, and that's the only strategy they can go with, in my opinion, for them to win. But chat and debit, both teams are in. We are going to be kicking off very soon. Let's get ready for a great match tonight. If you haven't predicted already, drop your predictions into the chat. Debit, what are your predictions for tonight?
You know, I always say we already mentioned that EM Dallas Burn has not been swept, but that doesn't mean I necessarily will predict them to take this one. However, with that being said, this LaCinco12 side is being tested right now, and they're going to be facing a top roster in EM Dallas Burn. I think I may have to give the edge to LaCinco12, but I'll do it in 5.
I'm going to give it 4 to LaCinco12 as we kick off. Here we go. EM Dallas Burn versus LaCinco12. Now, for LaCinco12, we have the strongest trio out. Rutsal, Kesar, and Palace against the strongest trio of EM Dallas Burn in Caesar, Wicca, and Anomaly.
Yeah, strongest lineups here to start. Both showing, they're ready to go, they're ready to play, ready to pass on. They're going to have to, essentially try to own game 1 and see if they can take it from there. They don't want to fall behind. And it's hoping with this EM Dallas Burn side, after losing a player like Huey, they can just keep, whatever good times rolling, because they do have the quality to do it. Now it's just time to actually execute.
Absolutely, and one other thing they need to deal with here is the threat of Kesar stepping up and just outpacing them throughout. Because if Kesar can get going, then I struggle to see how this EM Dallas Burn team can deal with them. And look at him already going up the ceiling, going for a ceiling shot attempt right there. But this EM Dallas Burn has been very tough to crack when they're defending. So, yeah, LaCinco12 are going to have a tough assignment here.
Oh my gosh, they really are. And after that fake flip reset, you nearly had something pop into the net here for LaCinco12. Opportunity for EM Dallas Burn to go down the field, but it's the speed of Kesar on defense that is helping Austin out right now. EM Dallas Burn, as you mentioned, showing really well on defense, but it's how they can make these offensive opportunities count. They've had stuff go around, but nothing has really quite, been that advantageous to them yet.
Well, with that said, I think for them it's good that Kesar's starting to settle in and get going, because against Frontera Chrome in game 1, he was still trying to get used to his teammates, but now look at him thrive with a great flip reset pass off the backboard. Once again, EM Dallas Burn looking disciplined at the back and not biting at the first opportunity. Big credit to Caesar as well, who brings it out into the midfield with a big clearance, trying to go for a shot, but his counterpart in green, Kesar, stops it and brings the ball to the other end, towards the other net. Unfortunately, he cannot get a shot off. Runs out with a follow-up into the middle, though, and LaCinco12 take a well-deserved lead.
And it's the speed and pace and 50s of Kesar that's giving EM Dallas Burn that trouble. What a slot here from Runsell, taking advantage of all the work that was done prior. And that's a goal here for Austin. They get on the board first.
I'm seeing a good bit of activity in the chat right now. And Caesar equalizes for EM Dallas Burn. Just like that, you can never count out this Dallas team. They will always be back, and Caesar does it with a huge assist from Wicca.
Man, here to run huge blocks. Wicca stepping up, getting the big body up there. Caesar right front and center, ready to go. Maybe Anomaly for another one.
God.
Oh, can't get on top of it. Nearly could have been 2.
If Anomaly got that double, I would have been giving him the goal of the season nomination right there. Probably not winning the whole thing, but definitely a nomination for sure, because for him to pull this out against this LaCinco12 team would have been absolutely wild.
Incredibly so, because we've seen LaCinco12, they've been a little shaky on defense at times, but nonetheless, been stout overall. It's not been as open as in years past. This unit is ready to go, and now ready offensively. Oh, maybe a fake. But right now, it'll just have to be left to run Sal. Maybe a follow-up from Kaser. Flip reset, bump, and it is in. Austin get their lead back.
Devin bringing the correct pronunciation for the goal scorer right here in chat, saying that it's Kaser instead of Ketsar. Sorry about that. Devin, thank you very much for the correction. And Kaser makes his impact yet again. 2-1 to LaCinco12 with less than 90 seconds to go. EM Dallasburg can come back, but with LaCinco12 in the lead, this has gone way more difficult for them.
Yeah, it really has. Playing from behind has not been EM Dallasburg's strong suit. They've been best whenever they actually had to defend their leads, rather than coming from behind. Not to say they can't right now, but the trend has not favored them. Maybe Endom can get the trend restarted the other way, but with defense like that, maybe Palace just has a full pop. Nope, no shot on net for the time being. LaCinco12 will have to retreat, but still not in any much danger yet. Still able to hold on to the lead. EM Dallasburg, as you mentioned, they're going to need to start getting some more offense onto the net. And oh my gosh, I was not ready for a slot.
Wait a minute, how did he get that in? I mean, that was a good shot attempt, but I thought that was savable. Palace could not get his fast aerial though. Oh no wonder he wasn't able to get to that. Anomaly with the equalizer. 42 seconds remaining. 2-2. I think we might be going into overtime unless Runsau can give the lead or Palace. But EM Dallasburg keep him back.
Man, you thought like you were going to be able to get the lead right back then and there. And oh my gosh, it took 3 people from the burn in order to just get that one cleared off to the corner. That's a beautiful pass back wall. We're struggling. Maybe one more. Wicca can't get to it. Runsau puts it far side, and with 20 seconds left, LaCinco12 regained their lead.
It had to be Runsau, didn't it? Every single time LaCinco12 goes through a rough spell, it is Runsau who gets them out of the doldrums and into a winning position. Huge!
Oh no! Oh, whoa!
Caesar with a huge save off of kickoff to keep his team in this game 1.
Goodness, I mean, you hope for the burn that's going to be a turning point moment, maybe something to take back down the other end, but they're going to have to do it quick. Caesar has no boost. He needs a follow-up. Unfortunately, that follow-up is Kaser, and puts it to the corner. Caesar with the pinch. Maybe one more, but it's looking bleak. Somebody has to get in. Pop. One more. No touch. That ball is going back down the field. Austin's looking favorable for a win. Ooh. Caesar cannot get that one to the corner off the ground. And LaCinco12 take game 1.
What a game 1 this was as well. Absolutely exciting, end-to-end, back and forth. EM Dallasburg's never say die attitude coming to the fore as well. But you're now starting to see the impact Kesar's having in this team. And now LaCinco12 can finally start to rotate and have other options. Devin on the bench, by the way, when we would typically see him start with Runsau and Palace. Now, we'll see if LaCinco12 want to make a sub, because this is their opportunity to start trying out different lineups and keep EM Dallasburg on their toes.
I agree. I think this is the time to, make those subs, try to get these players familiar with especially Kaser more. It's going to take a lot, to be a team that's consistently dominant or even at least hanging at the top here in the Premier League of SGL. So with teams like EM Dallasburg, this is prime opportunity, who I would expect to rotate as well, but I also don't know who is available for them in this match. So
we shall see, because we are going to be entering game 2 very soon. Let me just highlight a bunch of people coming into the chat. Chris, a new name in the chat. Good to have you here. I'm guessing you're here rooting for your buddy Kesar. And then, of course, we have the Austin folk here. Arglis, Devin, of course, who corrected the pronunciation. Trigga. And then, of course, Cyberburn here for his buddy Anomaly. Luis, good to see you. Yeah, I'm surprised too. I didn't even expect these games to be close, but they are. Credit to EM Dallasburg for that.
Yeah, they got that dog in them right now. It's, LaCinco12 has to work for these goals. They're not coming that easy right now. This team that, lost a prime member in Huey is not going down without a fight. They're really bringing their all to every series, no matter what standing place they're at.
And they do this whilst rotating their teams. We saw this against KC Cauldron last week. We might see it here tonight because they have rotated as well as LaCinco12. Here we go, game 2.
As mentioned, yeah, the subs are on. Caesar is still on for this burn side, but you're seeing Pico David and Overtime Saint, 2 players that we did not expect to make the matchup, but they provide Caesar with the first goal.
I don't know about they putting in any work, because that was all Caesar getting the big 50 to the other end, getting the finish in front of the orange goal. Caesar gives the lead to EM Dallasburg.
Hey, say what you want, but Overtime Saint has 2 points right now, and Pico David got his 2 points from that kickoff alone. So we got one person to help at least.
True, they are playing a part no matter what. Now we'll see if they can keep it going. Caesar has been the big player in this matchup so far. And against this LaCinco12 side, they definitely need him to be at his best, especially when that shot was coming in. Overtime Saint a bit late to get to the near post, but the ball bounces away instead of in, and EM Dallasburg get away with it.
Yep, they're pretty reliant on Caesar right now, getting the final touch. They're gonna need Overtime Saint to maybe get a couple extra touches. Pico David maybe just a slight touch to throw the Austin boys off. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Caesar coming in and making the plays. They're lucky it hasn't been demoed yet, because right now this team's defense is reliant on him.
They are, and especially when you see Pico David trying to cut and get to the ball first, just looking a little awkward. And speaking of awkward, Devin looking awkward as well, who comes in for Palace. But his teammates are back there ready to go. I can see this lineup working pretty well. Devin being the first guy out, being all aggressive and proactive on the attack, and Kessar being the all-rounder presence, Runsau being the third man. I think they're still trying to get used to each other, but there is potential.
Absolutely is. I see a lot of aggression potentially in every one of them, but that's where you still rely on the aggression of Devin to come up and intercept in the midfield off of that bounce in the corner. Pinpoint accuracy, and we are square.
A little awkward for EM Dallasburg as well. All 3 players in one corner. Pico David under the ball. You don't want to be in no man's land like that. Overtime Saint with 100 boost, just not able to get up to the sidewall. Caesar trying to get his own boost off the corner, not able to react afterwards. Just a really bad moment for all 3 players. And they might have another bad moment to deal with because Kizar gets his goal yet again. And he brings LaCinco12 up to 1 after a few seconds.
And Pico David did pretty much everything you could hope to do in that time, but with strong shots and passes that we are seeing from Runsau to Kaser, I mean, good luck.
Yes, seriously. I mean, you know, we're finally starting to see LaCinco12 rotate players out, but they still look so strong. EM Dallasburg, you know, I admire them for rotating against this team, and I'm sure they do it to give everyone a chance to not only get some playing time, but to have some fun as well, all along the way. But I don't think Pico David's going to have any fun getting demoed out there. Caesar having to bring his team back, but Kitsar gets the second demo.
Yeah, showing a little bit of aggression. Maybe Devin could get one last touch. He did run out of boost, though. Runsau with a follow. Kaser with down. No double to Runsau. And back to a 2-goal lead. Not like that ever exists in this game, but, you know, they got a 2-goal lead nonetheless.
And I think this might be the game where LaCinco12 run away with it, because every time they brought the ball up into the blue half, they have pinned the EM Dallasburg team back with relative ease. When Caesar gets pulled out and beaten, his teammates are just struggling to deal with the rest. And you know what? I'm not going to blame them for this because they're just being outmatched right now. But for this game too, they need a miracle to get back into it.
Yeah, they're going to need a little bit of that. Because right now, oh my gosh, I thought that deflection just could be on its own. Maybe a follow-up from Devin. Good save here from Caesar. Follow-up from Runsau, and it is in. Yeah, the game's starting to get lost a bit. LaCinco12 are just laying on the pressure. They're letting the burn give the ball back to them, and they are capitalizing on it.
All 3 LaCinco12 players have a goal in this game. Runsao is on a hat trick, 4-1 with 1 minute 52 seconds remaining. I'm sure they're not going to let the foot off the gas pedal. They want to get a convincing victory. They want to make a statement to the rest of SGL that they are here to compete for the league title. But EM Dalspur won't give up. They'll keep fighting, and they will not give up, even if they're down big.
They're going to keep fighting, but they're going to need one of these 50s or one of these hits out to be way more of a positive interaction than hope, because this LaCinco12 team, they haven't had to be incredibly... Oh my gosh, what a save from Pico David. Back to that, they haven't had to be incredibly stout on defense, but they've had to be at least active. Oh my gosh.
God.
Okay. No. Run away. Run away.
I have nothing else to say to that goal, except for...
Oh my God!
Hey, good heavens. Kaser, well, welcome to the league.
There it is!
You will be reacted to in 1 week's time.
There, again, another goal, straight out of kickoff. I think game 2 is set. It's dead in the water. EM Dalspur have their shoulders slumped all the way down to the grass in Sovereign Heights. I mean, that KSR goal said it all, didn't it?
Yeah, that's a backbreaker. That's one that you sort of look around, you're going to the matchup saying like, okay, like, yeah, we've been outplayed, but, you know, it's not like things are like super duper hopeless. Maybe like a couple little opportunities go our way, and then you see that and you're like, okay, I know we probably should have jumped up for that, but also we didn't know that was his game.
A 7th is coming at this moment. I mean, this LaCinco12 team is absolutely relentless. KSR off the back foot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. What interplay right there. Almost going in, but just too much lateral on that ball. Not enough to bring it towards the net. Man, this whole team is cooking right now.
Yeah, if we thought some matchups need a little bit of time, you know, to get rolling, max probably 1 game, you know, and we're up to 7. It's Brazil. Brazil here in game number 2. One that we were probably expecting to be at least slightly closer on the first game that we saw. But for this EM Dallas Burnside, 1 early goal turned into 7 unanswered. Quite tragic for them.
This is just absolutely insane. Who'd have thunk that EM Dallasburg would score the first goal in this match? Only for LaCinco12 to score 7 without reply. I mean, wow. Yep. KSR's finally in SGL. Here he is. You got to see what he's capable of. You're seeing Devin thrive. You're seeing Runsao thrive. This might be the match where EM Dallasburg finally gets swept.
It could potentially be. I mean, it looks like any lineup that LaCinco12 can throw out. They look very capable of shutting this thing out from the get-go. Even if the strongest EMDB team is in, I would not be surprised if they get swept. And what a shame that it would have to be on the backs against a rival like Austin, like LaCinco12. But sometimes that might just be how, you know, the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, you know what? They got the 7-1 result out of the way. Maybe now they can play without some of that fear and apprehension that may have been holding them back. Not that it matters because they're going to rotate again anyways, but I think all of it depends on who comes in for EM Dallasburg.
Yeah, it really could depend on who comes in for this game. Because I know you guys have no access to the match thread whatsoever over here. But there's a call for an individual that has not made an appearance in a while. And not that I'm opposed, but I am thoroughly confused as to what the goal is here right now within the next few seconds that we want to get things going here in game number 3.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading some stuff in this match thread, Devin, that might be a bit of a surprise. But I think we might be ready to go. Okay, we are ready to go.
All right.
Right.
Maybe later.
In the chat, Chris, I see that you're here for your buddy Kesar. Do you also happen to be a fan of a North American soccer team by any chance? Or are you just here to watch your buddy play some Rocket League? NYCFC, hell yeah. Okay, that's a confirmation. Good to know, man. That's pretty cool. I was not expecting an NYCFC fan to be around here. It's been a long time. We've had a few, though, over the years.
He's not getting hate from Playboy Farty in the chat.
Okay.
Somebody kill him.
Pico David, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Make fun of his love for Hatsune Miku in chat, if you agree.
But we cannot make fun of him for his Game 2 performance because he did get a couple of saves at 155 points, but he's out of the field for this Game 3. Not that it changes anything for LaCinco12 because they got a goal straight out of kickoff. 3 seconds in. Kesar, thanks to Devin.
Yeah, honestly, brilliant kickoff. Get the 50, get it to go slightly up, teammate following up close behind. That's beautiful there from LaCinco12. And a bit of an awkward kickoff. Runsell has to, play cover, maybe get a touch out. Does get one, but is intercepted here by Wicca. Back to Devin, though. Shot on net, not quite. Easily playable to Caesar, who takes it back down the other side. And yeah, for this game number 3, we could potentially be seeing a potential EM Dallas Burn win, but as we talked about, I mean, this is such a strong lineup from LaCinco12. Surely, go up, it just has to get done. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Listen, great goal by Kesar because he had the vision to see that big opening at the back, but EM Dallas Bird committing everyone high up. If you're gonna do that, you need someone to challenge the keeper so that they don't get that big long shot out. LaCinco12 are up 2. We haven't even played a minute yet, and this is looking really bad for EM Dallas Bird's potential to maintain their non-sweep streak this league campaign, but Wicca does get one back at the very least.
I was about to say, they're getting everything saved, though. Every, potential passing play could have worked. But this one that seems to have eluded Kesar over here, all of a sudden, Wicca is slotting this top shelf bar down. And there's a goal back. I mean, we're still only 1 minute, less than a minute.
And let's commend that finish as well. Incredible finish by Wicca, by the way. Not easy to get that ball that high up. We saw a great finish from Kesar last week. And now we see one from Wicca right here. Great 50 in the midfield, canceling each other out. Devin finally gets the ball forward. This LaCinco12 team is smelling blood. They want to get that 3rd goal and potentially more to kill off the EM Dallas Bird team. But with Wicca and Anomaly alongside Caesar, it's going to be way tougher for them. Oh, a bit of a cross wires moment, though. Anomaly finally gets it out. Not too far. But with some assistance, Caesar's finally able to bring it out to the orange half.
Yep, able to at least look for Wicca. Nothing going this time. The 50 is positive, and with a touch out like that, maybe there could be a 3rd following up, but it just turns into a 50 for LaCinco12. Shot is saved, and Runsell even got the boost back. Maybe he can get a pass. It's intercepted by Anomaly. Back down is open, but retreating Austin players are able to get the save. Back here with Kesar. Has the flip reset. Doesn't have it. Never mind. I spoke too soon.
I thought we were going to get a fatality goal right there. Remember, Fatality scored a goal like that last week off the ceiling, on the bounce, on the floor. But we can worry about that later because Runsell comes in and extends LaCinco12's lead to 2. Devin with a bump attempt, giving Runsell the opportunity to get the shot on goal. And good placement from him as well. LaCinco12 are up 3-1.
It's a shame Wicca had no boost to cover that wall. The bump attempt was happening. Basically stranded to die on that one. Good slot, and this one's okay. Rolls off the post. EM Dallas Burns still with half the game to go. they just get a couple controlled touches, maybe a good 50 their way in the offensive half. Next thing you know, they could be looking at an offensive opportunity. They get 2 players to go, but that pass goes a little too far for Wicca. We have 2 players challenging. That's a good beat. Caesar has to struggle to get this, but honestly does really well to keep that one to the corner, and his teammates able to get back and help.
We're starting to see a few more double commits from EM Dallas Burn right now. We didn't get to see them in game 1. They are causing a few issues for this EMDB side, but so far, you know, they still have done a decent job of coming forward. It's just they haven't been creating enough good goal-scoring opportunities, just hitting the ball too far away from them to be able to really pull out this LaCinco12 defense. And when the ball starts to come to them, they're able to dictate the pace once they get on the ball, and then they start to pull away the CM Dallas Burn team.
Yep, indeed. As you mentioned about these double commits, I mean, I don't preach on this often, but you know, there is such a thing as like a good double commit and a bad double commit. Usually comes in the form of, you know, you're on offense, there's a positive play toward net you can come out with. EM Dallas Burn have just not simply had those yet. Luckily have not been countered too hard on these so far, but they're gonna have to, you know, build up the potential over here. And Anomaly does not have the boost. Caesar looking really awkward, and oh, that's an unfortunate pass back out. Not in Wicca's basket.
But I see the vision. Caesar did so well to create that, getting the demo with little to no boost as well. Wicca just pushing a bit too far for him. But he's getting the pass back to Caesar. Caesar with a far corner finish. Wicca makes up for his struggle earlier. Great pass out. Everyone coming towards the ball. Caesar has the open net. 3-2 with 43 seconds remaining. The comeback is still on.
Yeah, it really could be. I mean, less than a minute, anything can happen. You never know how these games could potentially play out. We've seen teams come back from way a little before, and a 3-man save. We'll call that a good triple commit. Gets the job done here. Wicca, the attempt is off. Anomaly can at least put it downfield. Is there a follow? Not quite. Kesar does beautifully get that one out. Goes for the musty. Doesn't get it this time. Forced to make rotation out. Will steal the boost as well. So EM Dallas Burn have to work with what they have. But they're catching them off guard. Maybe a double. Oh, it doesn't go in the way they had hoped. And they got to play defense in the last 6 seconds. They got to get it done right now. Caesar with a pop out. Gonna go off the sidewall. Any follow-up over here? Is blocked. Oh, with a double commit, and the ball is gonna fall for a LaCinco12 win.
Shame. Absolute shame. This EM Dallas Burn team fought hard, but they have finally lost their no sweep streak. They get swept for the first time this season by the Austin boys in LaCinco12.
Yeah, you have to go out in a series like this in a sweep. Unfortunate first timing for them. They were able to rotate the lineup at least. Did not help them entirely in the end. Fought hard, fought well in games 1 and 3. Game 2 we can kind of forget about a bit. But for LaCinco12, getting the side fully rotated, Pal's taking a little bit of a seat in this one. And he's really letting his teammates start to form those bonds, and it is paying off.
It absolutely is, and this team has now gone up a whole other level. With that said, they had to fight for the 4 points here tonight. Sure, they swept, but it was not easy for them at all. With that said, I talked about this trio right here. Kesar, Devin, and Runsau. This trio looks incredibly balanced, and they all thrived tonight.
Yep, they're showing that, you know, maybe Luis's prediction is looking a little more correct. The on-paper team is showing the potential they have whenever they get the space to do the things they want to do. They're doing really well on the rotations out, getting the boost, getting the bumps, getting the demos. They're forcing their team, the opposition, to play a little panicked every now and then. Going forward, I mean, if this team really pushes, there could be a potential for a second place, or I mean, a lot of things would have to go right in order for them to really push up the standings, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the rest of the season, Austin finishes in third. Kind of like how they were.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can. But the other teams are starting to step up as well in ECRC, KC Calvin. EM is still there too, by the way. Let's not forget about them. So it won't be easy for them to get that third place finish. They'll have to play hard and fight hard no matter what. But here we have seen their best. And I think they have sent out a message to the rest of SGL that they have to be taken seriously now.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what series, I mean, hey, disappointing result here, but you know, you do have to work for every matchup that you do play against. The Burn, it's one of the hardest, decisions where to put them in power rankings every week, because they're a team that forces the opposition to make the proper moves to get the wins. They just can't get most of the final hurdle done. So it's a team you want to root for in a lot of ways to get the job done, but we're just gonna still have to keep seeing them in the spots that they're in, unfortunately.
Yeah, and their only win so far this season has been against Sounders RC in that 5-game thriller earlier in the season. They've already played them, and they lost 3-1. So, these other matches are going to be very difficult for them. And I don't know. I feel like they're going to really struggle to get some points on the board. When I say some points, I'm talking about like wins to get them higher up the table. So if they could just keep chipping away at teams and get those like 1 or 2 points per game, I think that'll be good enough for them.
Hey, something to at least look positively back on the season. Sometimes that's all you need for the season to at least feel like you got something accomplished. But we do have to, talk to our winners. We got to talk to our losers. The winners do appear first, though, and we will be talking to LaCinco12, specifically Mr. Devin himself, the one who is actually late to the party to start out, but, one that we'll end up talking to as he is here now. Devin, welcome on into the booth. Congrats on the win. I'm sorry you are forced to do an interview again, I'm hearing?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What is this? You don't like talking to the booth? What's up?
Not as often as I do. I don't know. We were just in voice chat, and I was listening to music, and I was like, okay, 3, 2, 1, Nade, who does interview? And everybody was like, Nade, and I felt so fucking distracted. I was like last, and yeah.
Man, you gotta be quicker with it next time. But also, whenever it came to this matchup, it seemed like nobody was ready at the right time to actually play the matchup. It seemed like there's gonna be a random 3 thrown out of who could get there first. Was there even like a central plan to this game, or was it just like, all right, let's show up and we'll just go from there?
I mean, that's kind of every game. We just show up and we play. We don't have like any plans or anything. Like, we always say like, oh, let's play sometime this week before like the next game, and we never do that. Like, I was in the shower when the first game started, and I got back on my computer and I saw like 2 pings from the server, and I joined. I'm like, oh yeah, the game's right now. So I just hopped on, and after they won the first game, Pals was like, yo, you want to play? And I was like, sure. And that was about it.
Well, speaking of late appearances, there were talks of another potential late arrival from LaCinco12, but unfortunately that didn't work out. So what were the chances of a Hophead appearance tonight?
Honestly, pretty high. If he wasn't being lazy, then he could have played, because because Kyle was just talking about getting him on, and I was like, oh, I can text him because he's my dad. I'm not with him though right now. And I texted him, and he replied like 10 minutes later, by the time game 3 was starting, and he said, give me a second. And I go check, and he's playing FIFA. So I'm like, yeah, we should just start the game anyways. So if he was quicker to respond, then he probably could have had a game. But since he didn't reply quick enough, he didn't play. And I guess that's kind of just what it boils down to, because that's kind of what happened to like all of us. Like, I almost didn't play. I forgot the game was tonight. Palace had to like ping everybody to tell them that the game was tonight. Like, Sao didn't know the game was actually being played until 7 minutes before kickoff. So it's just late appearances were kind of the theme tonight for us, I guess.
Yeah, legit, I had no idea if you were going to field 3 at first, and we were potentially looking at rescheduling, but you get the job done. You pull out any three that work out against this team. What's it like playing with Kaser? And thank you for the correct pronunciation. Now, by the way.
You're welcome. It's like fun. Like, I mean, I've played with Runesal and Palace enough to like understand how they play and kind of play well with them and like feel safe with having them behind me or like in front of me to like get it to where I need to be. But when I'm playing with like somebody on a caliber of Kaser, which even though Palace and Runesal are phenomenal players, he's just that step up. That like even though I haven't got the game time with him as I do Runesal and Palace, like I still feel like as comfortable around him with him on the field than I do those other two, because I just know he's capable of like doing stuff that I'm not. Like he got a what was it, a musty flick double tap? I don't even know if there was a reset in there, but I haven't even hit one of those in free play, and I probably have like 300 hours on free play. Like that guy's crazy, and it's just that kind of thing that like just lets me feel comfortable with him on the field, and it's a lot more. It's a lot fun. It's a lot of fun playing with somebody like him.
I can definitely concur with that end. So we were also kind of wondering with, last week with playing against Chrome, kind of an unexpected result, but then you pull out a result like this. Is it fair to say that, it Kaser's pretty much in? Seems like nothing really changed much. You guys are ready to roll no matter what matchup now?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the theme. Like I obviously want to play every game I can, but now that we have like I was listening to stream, like you guys were saying Palace, Runesal, and Kaser were the strongest three of the team. And I'm not gonna lie, it did hurt my feelings, but it is true. And I do love playing, and sadly, I do feel like I'm gonna be left out. But I guess that's kind of what it is. We're just gonna roll into every match with what we have and play. I guess like I've been playing Rocket League a lot recently. I'm trying to get better, but I luckily forgot what the question was, so I'm just ranting. But like, yeah, I mean, we just roll with whatever we have.
Okay, but here's the thing, Devin. We said that at the start, because of your performances throughout the season. Like, Devin, whilst you are a good player, you did have a bit of inconsistency. In this match, however, when you came into games 2 and 3, you elevated your team to a whole other level. So that brings me to my question now. How will you decide on your strongest trio when you need to bring it out?
That's something we're gonna have to tackle when we get to it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like nobody on our team really takes our matchups like so seriously. Like if we were to play FSD or Timbers Army, we aren't looking at it like, oh my god, we need to prep. Like we need to think about what lineup we're running for each game if they do this. Like we kind of just go on, and like if one of us is having an off game, then we're gonna sub out. Like none of us are really selfish. Like I'm not the type of person to where if there's four of us and I'm gonna be playing really bad, I'm not the type of person to be like, no, give me one more game, I got this. If I'm playing bad and I understand and recognize that, I'm gonna sub myself out to let like whoever else was not playing play. It's kind of just like that. Like if one of us aren't playing well, or if one of us aren't playing how like we should be playing, and then the other person who isn't playing feels confident, then we're just kind of gonna swap out. I mean, I don't think with our team we have like this person's better than this person. It literally just boils down to like how we're feeling today. And like whenever I was coming in, I told them like I feel confident. I've been playing well recently. So I feel like that's what made me do really well when I got on for games 2 and 3, because like I just was confident. I've been playing well, and I felt confident in my abilities against this team. And I guess that's what kind of helped me play really well.
Hey, I love to hear that. So it's all about who's the most confident, who's the most ready to go. And you know what? If you guys have a working lineup, you don't want to change it up, right? Because that's what you did from games 2 to 3. You kept your same trio, and you guys were able to deal with EM Dallas Burns, the strongest team. So for you to start playing against a much stronger lineup in game 3, how were you able to settle into that pace against that sort of opponent?
I mean, I wasn't really doing as well as I did in game 2. I was kind of like circling around, but it definitely was like manageable. Like it was a bit harder knowing that the people on their team were more reliable to hit the ball and have better control of the ball when they're on it, and better reading of the games. Like sometimes in games 2, somebody would just be sitting in net not knowing what to do, or somebody would just be like running around nowhere near the ball, and it was just a free push downfield or a free ball. But in game 3, they were more like organized and able to be there when they needed to. And adjusting that was kind of hard at times, because I don't know. I guess I'm just not good up there yet to be able to go past those limits that they're like everybody's. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, it was hard, but it wasn't that hard. Like, I was just able, like, playing against a harder team. It was they were just more organized, I guess. They were able to trust each other more rather than Caesar just going after everything and hoping for the best. And settling into that made it kind of hard because there were less opportunities or free windows to go for it when he was out of play, because the other two were still actually really good.
No, I gotcha. And yeah, so it wasn't like easy for you to settle in, but hey, your team turned up and it helped you get to play well as well. So that's good to hear. Now, with this kind of big impression in the season, I'm guessing you guys are going to look to win the league title, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I think we're out of that already. But we're gonna go for everything. Like I said this last interview I did, we're going for everything. We don't like we're trying to win. That's our thing. Like, we try to have fun, we try to win. We don't like we're the team where we don't try so hard on winning. Like, we aren't gonna always go with our best lineup, even if it means leaving out somebody who wants to play out. But we're gonna try and win no matter what team we're running. We're not gonna troll, or we're not gonna try and sell a game just to have more fun. We're going to win. Like, we didn't sell game 3. We could have sold game 3 so my dad had more time to get on and play, but we didn't, because that's not the team we are. Like, since he wasn't on whenever the game started, that, like, if he got on, we were going to play him, but that doesn't mean that we're going to sell a game to get him in. Like, obviously, if he was on and wanted to play and ready to play, he would have played. But since he wasn't, it's not like we're going to troll. We're actually going to keep going and keep winning.
I absolutely respect that point of view. Seriously. So I think that's the way to approach it as well. You got to be, you got to play at your best. You can't just fool around. And I don't think any team has been fooling around this season, to be fair. 99% of the time, but it's best if you're at your best and get the results that you need to get. So that's good to hear. So I am done with my questions. Debit, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good to go. You actually covered it all as far as what I wanted to cover. So I'm good to hand the floor over.
Go ahead.
All right.
If you have any shout outs, say whatever you want to say.
Shout out Kaser, shout out Runeshouse, shout out Palace, shout out Hophead, my dad, shout out everybody on this team. Shout out my dad for the emotional support off of games. Shout out Kaser for joining the team and instantly upping everybody's game. Shout out Runeshouse for being the best goal scorer that I know. Shout out Palace for being the captain, bringing everybody up and just always being there and setting everything up. Just shout out my entire team. The team's amazing. I've loved every team that I've been on while being in SGL. So shout out them. Shout out Trig for always being there whenever I was on Los Verdes. He was the GOAT. I'm not in Los Verdes anymore. I haven't talked to him in forever, but I'm sure he's doing his best to keep that team together, even though they've had a rough season. So shout out him. I know he's doing his best. Just shout out basically everybody that I've ever played with.
There you go. Love to hear that support as well for Trigga, whose team still has to get a point, but those guys are getting better. They're getting there too, and they keep the vibes up as well. So, and I also like how he's like keeping the good vibes up in the chat as well for all y'all. So I love to see that big support network within your group in SGL.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Devin. Appreciate all of your responses, and celebrate that win. Go have a good rest, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Sure. Peace.
I'm gonna be straight up with you, Debit. I don't think I can keep yapping on for too much longer, so I'm glad we just have one more interview remaining. But you, sir, have to get warmed up and ready to go, don't you?
I gotta yap more, and famously, guys, it's gonna be a vibe session for the podcast, just so you know, before we move on to another interview. I'm gonna actually quote that Arglass. Biggest yapper coming on to interview now. Actually, I don't know if I would call him the biggest one, but he's up there,
Speaking of
Maybe I'll just let him
yapping,
interview himself.
here we go. The yapper is in. Pico David of EM Dallasburg. Pico David, you only had game 2, and you had to deal with the strongest LaCinco12 lineup in this matchup based on their performances. Still, you put up 155 points and got a couple of saves. So how are you feeling after your performance?
Do anything, man. Not trying to be like negative. I just knew we were kind of coming into this game losing. We're not even losing. More so, it's gonna be a tough challenge because of the SSL on there. Kazar. He's really good. Just his mechanics are insane. But you know, them points were nice. I did not expect that from my performance. I just, you know, wanted to just do something. I guess. I don't know.
Hey, sometimes that's what it comes down to in those game twos. You get thrown out there. Next thing you know, you're probably dying a little bit, going, "Where the hell am I supposed to go on this field?" After getting most of the stuff stolen from you the entire time. Got to commend you for at least throwing yourself out there and putting yourself in the fire, unlike a notable other person out there that still hasn't done that this season. Tell me, what was it like playing in that game too?
Tiring. That's all I gotta say. And annoying. I will say. I don't know how to explain it, but just the amount of just pressure and attack they just threw at us. I just got tired. Like at the minute 30. That's kind of all right. Yeah, we lost, but I'm gonna see if I can do something. And I did squeeze out a save, but that's about it.
And I mean, you know, you were there with Adrian, who came in after so long. His second match of the season after his one against ECRC, at least in the league. How good was it to see him come back?
It's nice. It's always nice to see Adrian. That guy, he's cool. I like him. You know, he's just been busy, and it's always nice seeing him around here. You know, just like helping out and just getting on the game, playing a few games.
Absolutely, and we hope to see more of him, as well as Posey. We haven't seen Posey in a while too, and you know, despite your rotations today, despite you guys trying to go for the win in Game 3, unfortunately you've finally been swept after the season. So with that streak gone, bit of an open-ended question, but is there something else that you guys are gonna look to play for the rest of the season?
Not that I can think of. I know Caesar and someone else on the team could probably think of that question a little better than me, but my specific goal is just to get better, or more so try to just keep off this game a little more and just come back and get better. But besides that, I don't think we have a goal as a team yet, just for these last few games.
That's fine, and that's all good. And
That's very fair.
Speaking of yourself too, do you feel like you've improved? Because, you know, a bunch of us will tell you you've improved, but what do you feel about your performances? Do you think you've improved this season?
Not at all. If not, I've made more mistakes than actual corrections or, you know, plays. I don't know, just probably because I'm playing mostly against harder teams, but it just doesn't feel like I'm moving a lot. You know, I could see like flashes there, but I don't know. I just don't play this game enough to like say, yeah, I'm improving. I don't do that.
No, I got you. Just
Yeah, I
looking
think
to
that's
see
fair.
how you felt more so than, you know, trying to get a definitive answer out of you. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Sorry, Devin. I know you've been speaking up and interjecting with like your reactions and all, but if you have anything you want to ask, you can go ahead.
You're good. You're good. But I just even like wanted to point out something along those lines. It's kind of tough finding that threshold of like, you know, is this team like kind of like just playing that much better than me that I can't like learn anything? But honestly, I think through even some of these games you have been playing, it's notable to say that at least like if you're acknowledging the mistakes, you're probably already learning more than you know you are, which is kind of like, I guess, a weird thought process to have about it. But honestly, I would consider that more of an advancement rather than potentially like a mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna use that that line of, you know, learning more from failure rather than, you know, doing the right things every time. I don't know if you feel the same way about that, but
I don't know. I don't. I do kind of feel like that. I am learning from my mistakes. Just like mostly my mistakes of going up in the air and dropping back. But besides that, I mean, it's not a lot.
Hey, all good, all good. And you know what? With that, I think it's time to end this interview because I think we've asked all that we need to ask. The floor is yours, Pico David. Go ahead, say whatever you want to say. Give your shout outs.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Adrian for coming back. Like you're awesome, dude. Shout out to LaCinco12, Kazar, insane. And then shout out to everyone in chat except Arglass. Just the normal stuff, right?
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for the interview, Pico David. Tough loss, tough time out there as well, but you'll get better, and your team's going to keep playing, and it looks like your team's going to keep having fun as well, so I'll let you go for now. Take care. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.